Hello friends, my name is BK Kollapure. Today we will continue with some more problems on moment of inertia. Here we come across a term known as polar moment of inertia. Polar moment of inertia. We generally abbreviate it as polar moment of inertia as IP. This polar moment of inertia is nothing but moment of inertia about ZZ axis. So moment of inertia about ZZ axis is polar moment of inertia. If I ask you to find out polar moment of inertia, you are going to find out IZZ. From perpendicular axis theorem, we know that IZZ is equal to IXX plus IY. So whenever I ask you polar, you will have to find out both IXX and IYY. Today we will see a problem how to find out the polar moment of inertia and polar radius of gyration. So let us take a simple example. I am taking here a type of I section of column cross section. It just resembles an I section, so I can call this as an I section. Now the radius of this, if I take it as 6 meters, and if I take the height of the web, this is 12, and if I take the thickness of the flange as 4 meters, let the thickness of this web, this is flange, and this is web, if I take it as 4 meters. So this is I section. You are required to find out polar radius of gyration. So polar radius of gyration is nothing but Kp, and we know polar radius of gyration is given by Ip divided by A, and we know Ip is given by Ixx and Iyy. So you are required to find out both Ixx and Iyy. Now if you see to the figure, we can divide this figure into three components. Let us take the reference axis at the bottom as 1, 1. If I divide this figure into three components, we divide it into one rectangle G1, we divide it into another rectangle, the center of the rectangle is at the center, let us call it as G2, and the third one is the semicircle G3. So we have got X axis and Y axis. Suppose if I draw a Y axis here, this Y axis is passing through G1, G2 and G3. It is symmetrical about Y axis, and the center of the component are coinciding with the same axis. So this becomes a simple problem to find out moment of inertia about Y axis, but you will have to find out moment of inertia about X axis. So first we will go to find moment of inertia about X axis. Moment of inertia about X axis, that is we are going to find out Ixx. So first job is to find out the distance y bar, the distance of the center of the figure from bottom. Suppose if I find out from the bottom, we will be using the formula sigma ay by sigma a, then we will go for Ixx. So for doing this, we will go in form of the table here. I will take it on this side so that I can write it here. So we need 6 columns. First is the component, second is the area, third is distance of the centroid from 1, 1. You know A, you know Y, you multiply with AY. Why? Once again you multiply AY with Y, you get AY square. Then we'll go for the moment of inertia about its own axis, about x-axis. So we are drawn here 6 columns. So we'll continue with G1. G1 is this component. It is a rectangle, and the size of the rectangle is, so if I take this width of the rectangle as say 24 meters. So the size of this rectangle is 24 by 4. 24 by 4. If you multiply this, you get 4 for the 6, 15 and 12. 96. You get the value as 96 meters square. Now here rectangle, we know the distance of the center from 1 1. I want this. Total is 4. Half of that will be 2. So this will be 4 by 2 is equal to 2. You know A, you know Y. If you multiply them, you get 192 as a product. Once again, if I multiply it by Y, we get the value as 384. Now I self, we know it's a rectangle. Moment of inertia rectangle is given by B d cube by 12. So here B is 24 and D is 4. So this will be 24 into 4 cube divided by 12. If I simplify this, I get this value as 128. To this, we are going to add G2. G2 is also a rectangle. Size of this rectangle is 4 meters by 12 meters is the height. So 4 by 12, this will be 48. Now we know the distance of the center of the rectangle is at the center here. This is total 12, so this will be 6. But I want it from 1 1. So it will be 4 plus 12 by 2. So this will be 4 plus 12 by 2. So this will be equal to 10. You know A, you know Y. If you multiply, it will be 480. Once again, if you multiply, it will be 4800. Again, rectangle is BD cube by 12. B is 4 and D is 12. So it will be 4 into 12 cube divided by 12. So this value will be equal to 360. 360. To this we are going to add this G3, and G3 is a semicircle whose radius is, what is the radius of the semicircle? So this height is here 6, so that happens to be the radius of the semicircle. So this is 6 meters. So we know area of semicircle is pi r square divided by 2. You get this as 15655. 56.55 as the value. Now here we know the distance of the center of a semicircle from the diameter is 0.424 r. I know this, but I want the distance from here to 1 1. So what will be the distance? 4 plus 12 plus 0.424 r. So it will be 4 plus 12 plus 0.424 into r is here 6 meters. So this value will be 18.544. You know A, you know Y, multiply them, you get this value as 1048.7. Once again multiply by Y, you get 19446.7. Now we need moment of inertia of the circle. We are in 1 1. If I draw a line parallel to this, this will be the x-axis. And this x-axis is parallel to the diameter. Whenever the axis is parallel to the diameter, moment of inertia is given by 0.11 r raised to 4. So this will be 0.11 r raised to 4. This will be 0.11 into 6 raised to 4. So this value will be equal to 142.56. Now nothing to add. So if I take up the area sigma A, this plus this plus this, if I add them you get 200.55. Then we need sigma AY for this plus this plus this. If I add all this, 1720.7. Likewise sigma AY square, if I add all this, you get 24630.4. And if I add all this, you get sigma IGX as 630.56. 630.56. Now once you have this value with you, then you can go for y bar and IXX. So if I go for y bar is given by sigma AY by sigma A. Sigma AY value is 1720.7 divided by sigma is the value here 200.55. This value will be equal to 8.58 meter. Now we'll have to go for IXX. We go for IXX in two steps. One is I11 is equal to, you add just these two last columns. This will be nothing but sigma IGX plus sigma AY square. Add these two last columns. So this will be equal to 630.56 plus 24630.4. If you add this, you get I11 is equal to 25260.96 meter raised to 4. We are not interested in I11, we are interested in IXX. So once again we will write the same formula. We know that I11 is equal to IXX plus AY bar square. So we know I11 25260.96 is equal to IXX we are required to find out plus A is the net area 200.55 into Y bar is the distance what we have calculated 8.58. Don't forget to square this. So you get from this IXX is equal to 10497.19 meter raised to 4. So we got the value of IXX 10497.19. Now we will go to find out IYY. Now as I told you, to find out IYY, the center of all the figures and the y-axis are coinciding. So you get directly to find IYY. You can use directly the formulas to find out IYY. IYY will be equal to IGY of G1 plus IGY of G2 plus IGY of G3. We have got three figures here. We have added all the three figures here. So this will be equal to, what is moment of inertia of rectangle? B d cube by 12. I told you, if this is an axis, this dimension is perpendicular to the axis and this value will be cube. So B will be 4 and D will be 24. So 4 into 24 cube divided by 12. See to the thing, 24 4, this will become 424 plus moment of inertia of the second rectangle. So this is axis, this is a depth. So this depth is 4. So B is 12, D is 4 cube by 12. 12 into 4 cube divided by 12 plus, again see here, 4 12, 12 4. Then we'll come to the moment of inertia of semicircle. If it is parallel to the diameter, we have seen the value is 0.11 r raised to 4. If it is perpendicular to the diameter, then the moment of inertia is given by pi into r. What is the radius of this? 6. Pi r raised to 4 divided by 8. Pi r raised to 4 divided by 8. That's the formula for perpendicular to the axis. So we get IYY is equal to 5180.94 mm. So we are interested in polar moment of inertia, which is nothing but IZZ, which is nothing but IXX plus IYY. So if I take IXX, we have got the value as 10497.19 plus IYY is 5180.94. So this value of IZZ will be equal to 15678 0.13 meter raised to 4. So this is the polar moment of inertia. If I want polar radius of gyration, so what is the polar radius of gyration? Kp. This will be nothing but under root Ip by A. So this will be equal to under root Ip is 1567.8.13 divided by, we have got the area as 200.55. If you simplify this, you get 8.84 meters. So this is a polar radius of gyration of a I section. So whenever polar radius is asked, you will have to find out Ixx and Iyy. Here, now see this same problem I can ask you in 2 to 3 ways. Suppose if I ask you what is the least moment of inertia. Least moment of inertia. Least moment of inertia means how many moment of inertia we have got? We have got Ixx and Iyy. Whichever is the lesser of the two, that will be the least moment of inertia. So if I ask the problem to find out least moment of inertia, what you will have to do? Again you will have to find out Ixx, you will have to find out Iyy. Whichever is the lesser of the two, you will have to tell that is the least moment of inertia. If I ask you in this problem what is the least moment of inertia, we have got two values. One is Iyy, another is Ixx. Which is the least of the two? So Iyy is the least moment of inertia. You can solve like me. If I ask you least polar radius of gyration, least moment radius of gyration. Least radius of gyration is least moment of inertia divided by A under root. So you get the polar radius of gyration about the least moment of inertia. So this is another way I can ask you. So this will be for least moment of inertia. This will be for polar moment of inertia. This will be for polar radius of gyration. In all these, you will have to find out Ixx and Iyy. So this is one category of problem which we come across. We'll see some more problems in the next video. So please subscribe the channel for more videos. Press the bell icon for notifications. Go for questions in the comment sections. Thank you.